Today's video, my name is Michael Kubera. Will Ripple become a global powerhouse, especially with the SEC coming down on it in America? How is that going to affect the rest of it? Let's get into it today. Bang! Ripple is facing another class action lawsuit. This is the third one that they're tied up in. A lawsuit filed in the Superior Court of California claims that Ripple created the XRP token and then used sales of the tokens in order to fund its operations and the development of the Ripple ecosystem. Filed by California resident David Ochner, the complaint names Ripple Labs, XRP2, Ripple's licensed money services business, and Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and 25 unnamed persons affiliated with the firm as defendants. The suit claims here the XRP offered and sold by the defendants had all the traditional hallmarks of a security, yet defendants failed to register them as such. The purchase of XRP constitutes an investment contract, as XRP purchasers, including plaintiff, provided consideration in the form of fiat such as US dollars or other cryptocurrencies in exchange for XRP. XRP purchasers reasonably expect to derive profits from their ownership of XRP, and defendants themselves have frequently highlighted this profit motive. So essentially they're trying to say it is a security, which is definitely not helping the fact that Coinbase wants to list tokens that aren't securities. And all the tokens that they discussed, as in a previous video I have mentioned, Coinbase is interested in flirting with, they do not have any lawsuits. By the way, apologies for making the previous video, well, from 2 videos ago, a little bit clickbaity. I understand your guys' concerns. Thanks for reaching out. So Coinbase doesn't want to associate with any cryptocurrencies that have 1 lawsuit, let alone 3, as is ongoing with Ripple. Now, Ripple's not too concerned because they're going on a global scale. As the previous video mentioned, India is huge. They're looking into a lot of operations there. But before we get into the global scale, let's chat about the SEC for a second and get back into it. According to the SEC, Ethereum and Bitcoin are decentralized enough to the level where the SEC does not need to regulate them. Since they don't need to worry about the digital assets, Coinbase decided, you know what, let's add Ethereum Classic and Bitcoin Cash since they're essentially the same thing. So in addition to that, they had Litecoin, and of course now they're looking into the 5 digital assets which don't have any lawsuits. Ripple, on the other hand, is getting bogged down, and the SEC is wondering, is Ripple a security? The problem is with XRP and Ripple, the company itself, of course it's centralized because there's a group of investors at the top who are controlling everything. When you're dealing with billions and billions of dollars being dependent upon a team and a company, things start to get a little bit tricky. But does the SEC decision really stop XRP from expanding its global reach? The answer is no. Now, I must remind you guys that Ethereum and Ripple are the 2 main cryptocurrencies that as of last year helped me get jump-started, and then Steemit was quite a nice boost as well. Within a span of a couple months, thanks to that small little investment, and in addition to ICOs and being targeted with sponsorships, I was able to attain around $150,000 or more dollars, which isn't too bad for a 19-year-old. So Ripple's got some problems in America, but as with every cryptocurrency, or at least the major ones, they're looking towards Asia. So Ripple partnership yielded SBI Ripple, which is registered in Japan. Japan's legalized Bitcoin. There's also the SBI Virtual Currencies Exchange that is XRP centric, with the CEO quite adamant that the exchange will become #1 one day. Well, you know, that's opinion based, but who knows? I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff. CZ went from nothing to being a billionaire in 7 months. Last year was intense, and there's nothing to say that this year won't be like last year. Sure, there's a bear market right now, but what happens when there's a bull run? There's still a lot of money going into the private sectors. Now, we were discussing Ripple and India in the previous video. They do have an office in Mumbai. There's quite a lot of rapid expansion over there. There's also the partnership with Santander Bank. They're using Ripple software in 50% of its international transfers, including powering its OnePay FX app that is available in Europe and South America. SBI Holdings is also using Xcurrent to power its SBI Remit services. Now, the second major point is that XRP is the byproduct of Ripple. Ripple is the company, and the cryptocurrency comes underneath it. They're separate though. Any court decision that affects Ripple doesn't necessarily mean it will affect XRP. Ripple just happens to own a bunch of XRP, but with cryptocurrencies, the token itself is supposed to be decentralized and far away from governments and banks, and I know it gets tricky here, but technically it is, technically. And the last bit of information, Ripple has hired Miss Kahina Van Dyke. She is the Senior Vice President in the Business and Corporate Partnership Division. She was previously working at Facebook, and we've seen this many times before, that people from Facebook, Microsoft, and Google are getting plopped over into cryptocurrency. Hedge funds, ICOs, airdrop companies, and of course the major cryptos. XRP is one of the largest cryptocurrencies out there, worth currently right now over 17, approaching into $18 billion in a bear market. That's literally enough money to buy out entire countries. Will XRP continue to dominate? We are to see what's going to happen this year. But they do have one thing above many other cryptocurrencies, and that's just sheer size. They've got thousands of little points that they can reach out to. They've got a huge company. They got lots of banks interested, hundreds of large banks, and they got billions to throw around. I suspect if things were to go into the bull market, we could easily see 17 billion transformed into 100, 200 billion dollars. At that point, you are a giant corporate entity. Unstoppable. But that is today's video. Will XRP be one day added to Coinbase? That's dependent on the SEC's decision alongside the lawsuits that are pending on. Will Ripple be a security? If it is, that's going to limit a lot of things, but that's only for America. On the global scale, there's definitely still a lot going on, with India, of course, being the major stronghold in Asia. But if India goes, then we got China, Japan, Korea, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, all of those places getting interested. And Europe still got some strong holdings as well. Who knows, maybe South America might be joining us. Ooh. My name is Mike, or Kubera. Thanks so much for coming along, pumping XRP with us. My single channel alone will give $1 billion into XRP. I wish. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share if you didn't. If you hate me, unsubscribe. See ya, goodbye, and that is that.